early stage of the DC Universe, what I really enjoyed about this was that it's a lived-in world. And there's already this history of the Golden Age, the Silver Age, the Bronze Age of comics. There's these heroes and these villains, these characters that have already existed throughout time. You have characters like Wildcat Grant, who existed in the DC Universe. You have these other heroes like Max Mercury, who existed in the DC Universe prior to the start of the DCU. It's not like the MCU, where when Iron Man came out, other characters would have existed, like Captain America was already part of the history of the MCU. But there weren't many heroes that came about before Iron Man. Most of it was set up after that film. And in the case of the DCEU, it's the same thing. You have other characters that, in hindsight, we know that other characters like Batman existed in the DCEU, but most were introduced after the events of Man of Steel. But with the DCU, there's a lot of characters and a lot of properties that were already established in this universe. So it feels lived in. It doesn't feel like we are just now starting with this. We're not getting the origin story for all these characters at the very beginning. And that's what I really appreciated about this early stage of the DC Universe, is that it feels lived in. We have these established heroes. We have this established lore that's already in place before we got to Creature Commandos, before we got to Superman. And so that's been so interesting. And I know they're going to be able to do a lot with that. As we go into further projects, more projects, there's going to be characters that are already going to have established backstories, or we're going to get origin stories set all over the place in different times in the DC universe. And I think that's going to be a lot more fun and a lot more entertaining than the streamlined introduction of a lot of the characters that we got in the MCU. So it really makes this clear distinction of, rather than starting the universe from scratch and having this really like baby universe that hasn't matured yet, the DCU is a matured comics universe. And that's so fun to me. It's different. And it feels like comics. That's the way comics are. Sometimes you just step in as a new reader to a universe that's already been established. And that's kind of what they're doing here with the DC Universe, what James Gunn's doing here with the DCU. So I really like that. I like that the first Superman movie he's already had the origin story, but he's not a veteran Superman, so he's still early enough in his career that we can still step into this part of the story and feel like we're still at the beginning stages of the story. Maybe not at the very beginning, but we're still early on. So that's been so fun to experience with these characters. Hey everyone, thanks so much for checking out that clip from my new podcast, Talking Movies and More. It will be intercut with the podcast we're doing called The Assembly Cut I'm doing with Hayden Smalley, and I hope you stick around and check out that podcast as well. Be sure to check it out here on YouTube or your favorite podcasting platform, either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Go down in the comment section, let me know what you thought of the topic we discussed here today. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified when new videos go live to this channel. When you do that, it always helps me out, and I greatly appreciate it. Hope you all have an awesome and a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video.